After the delays, the players, being typical North American players, have taken their time getting ready to go, but now we can kick things off on Inferno. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the mic. This is our first map of a best-of-3 series in ESL Challenger League Season 43 North America, Disconnected and Mythic. Mythic on their own map pick, starting on the T side, Disconnected in the blue on the CT side. They have a kit on Swan, and to my chagrin, there are no dual Berettas.
No dual Berettas, but hey, we do have the kit. Oftentimes, those kits are forlorn. They're gone in the case of the dualies. So, you know what? I respect the call. Slow play in towards the apartments. A double stack, though, towards the stairs for Aris and Frank. He has a nice pair of kills, both of which go unanswered. Cooper will try to race them down with the Glock in hand, but no, they get the heck out of dodge in the nick of time. Now it's on Darty. He takes a shot and exchanges one as well. Freak is taken down. Cooper avenges with a pair of kills, but Silas is quick with it right back. 3 versus 1 and twice. That's all to do. Lock in hand, a lot on his plate, and less than a minute to do so. Player in either direction as well. It's just the crossfire that's truly insurmountable. He'll jump out, try to find one, but Frankie beheads him from behind, and Disconnected take a solid piss around victory by proxy of that aggressive play on the stairs.
Yeah, that little double stack and boiler, it's not the usual one where somebody's boosted on a head. No, they're just taking a bait and switch angle on the stairs instead. I like that play. I think it was a really smooth option. You had confidence in your aim, you hit your shots. They didn't overextend either. It was a well done, well executed little stack in towards apps on the A play from Disconnected. And they win the pistol round clean. No bomb plant, only 2 casualties. That's a good one. Now they're going to run it down middle though with utility going forward. They have to be careful about the top of the pistol. The SMGs will find a couple that nade. It could take out Inferno. He survives with only a moment in time. Frankie had his back. Darty gets the cleanup. 2 down, but the M4s stay alive more importantly. The MP9s farm up a considerable amount of money. And we'll see if the AKs from Mythic can break this early streak from Disconnected, or if the CTs are going to get out to a very early lead.
It's an interesting start against pistols. They decided to run it down middle. It's rather dangerous, rather risky, and we saw 2 players go down as a result, but you know what? It was rather clean, all things considered. We have 4 M4s and an MP9 now for the CT side. Honestly, these buys are more or less even. There's a little bit a lack of utility on the Mythic side, and also a Galil on twice. Honestly, Galil and MP9 in the angle could go toe-to-toe. This is a more or less even situation. Exchanging bullets from the top of the T ramp over towards the banana. Both teams not playing as assertively as they could, giving due reverence as they should. Team Mythic looks like they want to go over towards A, at least to take brackets control. Disconnected though, they're not playing nearly so aggressively. They're playing more passive on the site proper and in the pit. 1 player spotting towards the archway.
The MP9 and Pit, not exactly the range duel you want to take. MP9 versus AK or even the Galil. Swan has the nade out, just spotting for it. A chance to wrap through to B, though, for Mythic, but they're going to throw the utility for the arch wrap, the veggie wrap onto A side. Era's tucking in towards the site. 1 in mini pit, does a lot of damage onto Frink and Cooper. Smoke to block off the angle. Swan lets the nade rip, but Frankie and Eris have netted a pair. Frankie doubles down, and now it's all crashing down to the ground. Swan on the MP9, it's all up to Flom. At the very least, do some damage to the CT economy. They're pushing into his angle, and he finds nothing. It's going to be a clean sweep for Disconnected, upgrades to the AKs, and that is about as good of a start on the CT side as you can ask for.
I think it's the best start on the CT side you can ask for. Very well done. They shut down the rifle round. They don't let the bomb plant through either. The passive play on A pays dividends, pays off in a big way. Team Mythic now half buy on the board. Deagles, Tech 9, P250 for Cooper. Truly desperate, dire straits in this round. Maybe some damage is all they can really hope for. Perhaps a bomb plant if they can run it down quickly enough and overwhelm with their numbers, but I don't see that happening. They're slowing down, hoping to be gifted an opportunity. Disconnected, looking incredibly comfortable thus far on their CT side. We'll have to see if Mythic can adjust, though.
I think it's next round where Mythic are going to have to really adjust. I think right now, it's just do what damage you can. That's your number one priority. Silas has a big whip on the M4. The flash from Darty saves his life. The kill even more so, but that flash bought time for Silas to get off the reload. He still had the USP in hand, but now he can really securely get that M4 A4 reloaded. And probably not used to the spray pattern of the bucking Bronco A4. Nice find there onto Cooper. Just hating twice left. Do not throw your life away if you are disconnected. Although Darty is going very aggressive, he just spams through the smoke of the half wall and backs away wisely. Silas is in a dangerous spot, but there's smoke gives him a little more space. That's nice from Hate, though, tracing the tracers back from whence they came. And the bomb is still down towards Banana. Plenty of time to move. Actually, not really, but plenty of time. There's only 35 seconds of the clock here, Nate. I think Twice and Hate need to make up their minds if they're going to stay or go, because I think if they want to buy next round, they should probably go and, at the very least, try to die.
They have to. There's no way they should be saving. They set the pistols, they have Kevlar, sure. They want to get AKs in the round following. They can't do that if they choose to save their weapons. 10 seconds left. They should run through the flames at this point. 10 seconds as the bomb inches ever closer. Swan towards Coffin, finds one. Darty making contact, found the second. It's a nice shutdown, disconnected. They don't trifle with any sort of fancy footwork. They don't trifle with trying to wait till after time. They just get their victory in and minimize the losses. Only one player falling. He'll have to reinvest, but the money on the CT side is already quite strong, already burgeoning. Swan electing to bring out the big green, as is Cooper on the T side for Mythic. This could be the spanner in the works they need to get around on the board, or it could be their undoing. The T side op is a very fickle weapon.
The T side op is a very fickle weapon, particularly on Inferno. I would like to add, before anything happens, that Frankie has 4 kills than the entirety of the Mythic roster as of this point. Now it is equalized as Freak knocks down Silas. Darty will retreat to the side, but Swan's op goes amiss. He goes swinging in towards bedroom and he gets put to sleep by Hate. That's a good kill on the lurk. That's a double man advantage now for Mythic on their second gun round of this game. Of course, it's been relatively clean for Disconnected in the rounds prior, so they got plenty of money. But of course, you want to string as many rounds together as you can on the CT side. Only one lone defender of the A-bomb side left standing is Frankie. Shadow shows, sprays the first, damage onto the second, but twice has the trade. Smokes are going down and Disconnected have to make their choice now. Do they rotate or do they save? Hesitation means that it's not even worth going for the retake, and they are just going to try and save their gun, play for a couple of exits perhaps, but keep the AKs into the next. This is a not really high percentage chance of getting the retake to work, so they're going to cut their losses here. They know when to hold them. They know when to fold them. But it's going to be a good early round for Mythic on the second gun round after getting obliterated by the bonus round of Disconnected on round number 3.
Yeah, it's a smart call to save again. This hunt, we saw it in last night's matchup, how potent it really was. 2 players versus 5 shut down the entirety of the T side as they tried to save towards alternate middle. That won't be the case here and now, though. Darty saving much more passively now as his teammate falls, and Team Mythic will save their op. They'll save their 3 AKs as well, and now it's their turn to begin to build this T-side economy, which is a far easier task than it is for the CTs. Disconnected, they should be able to invest. We mentioned they had a pretty penny saved up in the coffers, and they will dip into said coffers now. The question is, do they want the big green? And the answer is yes. Swan gets one dropped, and he will have another attempt to challenge the likes of Cooper.
Yeah, I think Swan just got a little over aggressive in halls. He was expected by Hate, and that's what took him down early on. A quick technical pause here. Mythic calling that one for only a brief moment in time. We'll be back into the action here very quickly. So we'll be back in shortly.
Hopefully shortly.
Now, it is short.
It is shortly, but I don't know exactly how long that shortly could be, you know.
Like less than a minute.
It's about a minute, yeah. You know, we could have to sit here for a full minute, minute and a half, you know. It depends. Either way, looking at the investments, kind of the same story for both sides. Full rifles, one of them being that saved 8K with the op as well for the CT side, and very similar for the T side with the op on Cooper and 4 AKs rounded out. Good utility across the board for both sides as well. Everybody buying the exact same set of utility for the CT side. Molotov, smoke, flash, grenade. Pause has concluded. Team Mythic, is that victory replicable, or will disconnect them from the winner's column?
I think if Disconnected want to have a chance on this map, they need to win this one here. Because if they lose it, it gets Mythic to within 1. actually, depending on how things go, it could end up being a 4-4 ball game. There's a lot that hinges on this very same round, and Darty's just eating all the nades he can. A buffet of hand grenades, and while they might look like an apple, they're not exactly something you want to eat. And Nate, this opens up opportunities for Mythic with how wounded Darty Montana is to really exploit this B side. That's a great counter nade, though, coming through. I believe that was Darty. A little bit of revenge. Silas has another one prepped and ready to roll. And that might force Mythic back to another angle, another option, maybe in towards the A side. Swan playing bait and switch with Eris to cover his swing as well. Flash forces Swan away. I believe he let one rip to that nade. Doesn't really do too much. I believe he was expecting players to push it a little further. But Eris has been left in the cubby, and this is a dangerous position if it goes unchecked. And they do have a Molotov for it. Frankie's been removed by the op of Cooper, but they're running back to B. They've sold a fake. Disconnected. They have a 5 HP player soloing a bomb site, and they realize their transgression. They've got Silas back in time.
Smoke is in the way of the T-side push, but I think they might just go right on through it. Silas, knowing time is low, will throw the first of 2 Molotovs, twice as disconnected from the server. That's so unfortunate. It is a 4 versus 4 now. Second Molotov thrown, and Nick will have no choice but to try and cross the straights here. Silas in the smoke will get something. Eris instead finds 2. Silas swinging around, finds a 3rd, and spots the barrel of the 4th. Taken down. That is a big round for Disconnected to win. A big round. A big shutdown as well. Is Disconnected. Who's only one single player in that one.
That's so unlucky for Mythic, because if they have 5, they probably have a chance to get the bomb down. But they can't. They don't get the bomb down. Twice is back. That's why the timer's ticking down again. But I don't think he's going to show up on the HUD this round, so please do bear with us with that. The finickiness of a HUD can sometimes be a wondrous thing.
He's marked as undefined on the,
yeah,
on the map.
undefined.
If you want to know where he is, he's undefined.
Yeah. Oh! Swan's gone down again. Swan has not got anything with Zop so far. Freaks continue to jump forward. A lineup for Darty. He takes down the banana pressure, and that's going to swing things back into the favor of Disconnected.
A massive pair to find. A nice little adjustment aggressing down the banana. Punishing Team Mythic's aggressive playstyle in that side of the map. Cooper, though, he's been hot with the op. He found the opening in the round prior, the only kill in the round prior. He's found one here and now, but still, the odds are against him. Hate trying to get up towards the arch. Will clear the angles slowly but surely. Gets the spot but not kill. Cooper instead, though, will drop Darty Montana. Trying to go in towards B, but no, the flames await him. No choice but to wait. And Silas trying to hold on. Cooper, though, continuing forward with the big green, clearing out the site. This is very well done from him on the op. Totally uncharacteristic of an opera on this map, on the T side, no less. Connected. Potentially difficult retake ahead of them as that smoke expires. If Cooper gets aggressive with the op, he could find a free pick and bring it to even footing.
The former E United man doing a lot of work for the Mythic side, as is per usual. One of their highest rated players. In fact, their highest rated player, twice as the highest rated player. Cooper is just behind him at 1.11, but Cooper, very solid, been solid for a long time in the region. Nades into his position, though, down to 57 HP. Needs to land the first connection on the air as he does with that. The AK spray not going to connect. Frankie and Silas to the double swing works. The op can get picked back up for Swan, and actually, I don't think they have time to grab the secondary op. They'll just stick with one. But this is a 6-1 scoreline for Disconnected now on the map pick of Mythic. A very good start for Disconnected here on a map which they are slightly weaker on the CT side, at least statistically, across 17 maps played. They're on a 5-game loss streak currently. They need to get back into the win column at some point. And what a way to do it by taking Mythic's pick if they do eventually win this one.
Two things I want to highlight as well. Twice you mentioned he was kind of the top frag, the one you expect to shine on Team Mythic's. I think he's had a rather slow start. I didn't say 0 because I'm not sure if that was because of the HUD or not. Either way, he's around proper. Darty Montana finds one, and Silas a second through the smoke. Again, 2 kills going the way down. Banana Disconnected, getting aggressive, getting comfortable, and not letting Team Mythic do the same, shutting them down before they even really begin their default proper. Hate now has to try and dig the team out of a hole. He's in towards Boiler. His two teammates are down towards middle, smoked off. So try to poke and prod here, try to find an opening, but I don't think Disconnected are going to give any such hope. Under the balcony, peeks in after the flash goes down. Nice nade as well. Hate will find one. Hate will find a second, but Aris drops twice in the meanwhile, maintaining the advantage. 19 HP, what can he really do? That's the question. Good flash. Swan misses the shot, but he will recover this one and finds that. Cooper on a timing, spots darting one hand. This could be the opening he needs. Cooper finds the first. Can he get the bomb? No, that's the question. Maybe. He's legged down though, and that makes things all the more difficult here. Swan moving out the pistol, won't finish off the frag, and Cooper now with the bomb on his back has a little bit of a window of opportunity. Swan isn't going to overstay his welcome towards the middle. He's going to fall back and play A, and in the meanwhile, Silas will go towards B.
The only problem is Cooper has found the one gap here in the defense, which is a swing towards B through CT. Swan has swapped to the M4A4. Cooper clearing up on site, has a lot of different angles to go through, and he's going to plant it as safe as he possibly can. Swan knows what's going on now, and at this point should wait for his teammate. Should not give Cooper the 1v1s. That is where the round turns on its head and goes back the favor of Mythic. Silas making his way through towards the lane. Looks like they're going to both go together. A flash was thrown. Cooper dodges it. And this is a winnable position for him. Unless Swan swings wide as Silas pushes up. Swan's going to win that fight. Somebody's going to go pick up the AK for him, surely.
There's the op.
But I feel like, or the op, yeah. I feel like this round ended up being a bit of a what is going on moment with Cooper all the way down bottom T stairs. That late into the round with everybody else dead.
Yeah, Cooper kind of stuck in a difficult spot once again. His teammates falling down towards Banana. Smoke towards top middle. No reason to go there. And as we mentioned, he has been opping. So maybe he's just kind of playing further back, more passive in the opping style, even though he doesn't have the op in hand. That's the only real reason I could see for him having been down top middle for so long. Either way, it is rifles once again. AKs across the board for the T side. And the op once again present for Swan. We'll have to see if he can finally wake up with the big green. Aggression down Banana for Team Mythic. Punished early on. Opening, yes. Can he run a second? Yes, and twice finds Aris. In the meanwhile, a complete opening up of the round by Team Mythic. A massive return to form and a much needed round here. 5 versus 2. Swan and Frankie going to try to cobble something together. And no, actually, they're cutting ties with the round entirely. They're already calling the save, and that is the smart call. Disconnected. Sure, they've been winning rounds with some consistency, but they haven't been building up that bank we saw earlier on in this matchup. All quite poor here. Swan, only 1.5k in the bank, and he won't be able to buy an op if he falls here. Massive hunt as well from Team Mythic. They know exactly what's happening. Good shot from Freakazoid back towards the library to close off the round. Disconnected, not allowed to save, and now they're going to be on a save round here. Some pistols, maybe some Kevlar, but nothing much more.
Yeah, despite that lead, it's going to be a half buy from Disconnected here. The Brazil scoreline turns into a 7-2 instead of an 8-1 in honor of Brazil playing in the World Cup tomorrow. I had to mention it once, given the opportunity. And actually, Disconnected are going to buy nothing at all. I'm utterly shocked they've not even... they bought a flash. Okay, they've spent $200 in this round. Not even a P250 or to purchase stuff. That is a bit surprising, honestly. They're going to go for the flash play, though, but it's countered well by Cooper. He gobbles up 3. A nice little hat trick. Spray down in the corner. One more solo peek from Swan, and now Frankie's going to rotate over and join his teammates in what appears to be a mass grave. Maybe if he gets lucky, he can find one, but Flom goes over top of first oranges, and it's going to be 2 in a row for Mythic, their first time stringing rounds together in this map. But Disconnected are back on the buy. Do they get an op for Swan again? It does not look... Oh, he is going to get dropped an op. All right.
Silas had, I think, I want to say 3 or 4K. I can't remember.
I don't think it was Silas because he bought an A1S. I think it was Darty.
No, he has armor. Darty wouldn't have been able to buy the op. It had to be Silas. If you right-click an op, you can drop a gun without dropping your own gun.
I forget. I never used that
tech.
feature. I hate it because the crosshair bug.
It makes things simpler, I would say. I use it. I'd say it's a great feature to have. Don't want anybody getting their grubby hands on my big green when I'm trying to be nice. No kit, though. Important to know.
That is very important, and Darty could have foregone the helmet for a kit.
The nickels and dimes are so important on the CT side. Swan, a chance at bat. Maybe the op can ring true. Yes, it does. Nice shot. Twice taken down towards the middle. A first of hopefully many. This disconnected setup. Frankie up top on the flower pot area-ish. The off angle. Team Mythic, though, have already been sent reeling. They're looking to go towards B instead. And Darty Montana and Silas are both waiting and ready. Two A1S users. Probably the best spot to use them as well, given how close range the B side is. As I say that, they fall away. Frankie, up top with the A4 in hand, could be the one to find a second. 30 seconds left. Mythic keep on leaving it down to the wire for their takes.
Yeah, they were playing this very slow, and without that opening pick, it's going to get a little more rough. Frankie holds the line, blinded, but still pops up next. Spring away, hits the headshot on the third. Aris backing up, doing a lot more damage. Swan rotating into the side as well. Flom, the lane, knows there's a player in towards the hit. Aris hops up. He gets smacked back down. Swan has done a little bit of damage. Darty comes through with a USP, and the op finishes off Flom for the last 8 rounds of the half secured. Now for Disconnected. Again, the map pick of Team Mythic here on Inferno. Mirage map 2, Ancient a third if necessary. Everybody on Disconnected, though, really starting to hit their stride. And that's a good sign for Disconnected on their CT side. Just build up the lead, go into T side, and do what you can to just finish out the game. The only thing is, Nate, it's a lot easier a lot of times to finish things off on the CT side.
It is a lot easier, but I think this team does have some T-sided performances, so it will work out in their favor. Good nade damage, as you mentioned, yes. Massive amounts of damage against Mythic from the CT side, and Cooper, an uncharacteristic miss. He's been the spearhead for this T side on the big green, and it won't ring true in this round. Darty Montana now lucky to be alive and has the information to boot. Team Mythic, content with just showing presence, will now change gears. Shift gears and look towards A instead. Swan, though, he's waiting with an op of his own, holding in the apartments, and untimely demise. Oh, he dodges the shot. Frankly, was the trade, but the damage has been done. Flom answers back, pressing in middle. Very well done from him as he scales forward now to take all the room he can. Flash from Aris blinds himself. That gives Flom a free second, and that's the A side cracked wide open. Back to save simulator, excuse me. Darty Montana and Silas are already calling it. That gives Cooper a big opportunity to find exits as well.
Inferno is save simulator. Vertigo's retake simulator.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Ancient kind of is too. I don't know. I feel like Ancient retakes are a lot more contested than Vertigo is these days.
They are.
And interestingly enough, I feel like Ancient is in a better spot gameplay-wise than Vertigo.
Because it's still evolving. It's still a newish map.
And it's also, there's more you can do on it. Vertigo's pretty much flat.
They're not going to survive, are they?
I don't think so. Unless they can find Freak.
Freak's not pushing any further, though. Freak's just going to hold. They're not going to push their luck. It's a safe call from Mythic, but I do respect it. Flom actually goes down with the bomb as well, down with the ship. Interesting, probably the bomb radius changed, which isn't so recent now, but still rather fresh for the old dogs, I would say.
I think it's still fresh for most people.
So fresh for me, that's for sure.
'Cause even at the major, people were getting caught out with it.
Yeah. Get the buy here. We'll cobble something together. No op present. But we do have a Famas on Frankie. We do have a 2-5-7s on Aris and Swan to round it out. So it could be very formidable indeed. Swan, no Kevlar though. Might make him rather fragile. Same for Aris as well as he falls to twice his hands. Frankie though, down middle with the Famas on an island. He'll find one. Darty Montana gets a trade as Freakazoid drops Frankie. It's even. These teams are trading close despite the clear weapon advantage. Darty again trading, this time on to Flom. 2 versus 2. Cooper, though, the hero of this T side, is still alive with the op in hand. Swan, oh, he's all the way up underpass. This is an interesting setup for the CT side. Will they be expected? Or will they be circumvented? It looks like they'll probably just rotate around. Cooper walking through the apartments. Swan will get an upgrade here. AK secured. Information gained as well, but only a slim bit.
Oh, this round's over.
So patiently walks it through.
There's no way Disconnected win this round. As soon as that bomb goes down, they're saving. If they really want to go for this, they're going to ruin their economy and find themselves in a worse spot. That's going to telegraph where the take's going.
Swagging the apartments could work.
Oh my gosh. If he had armor, he might win that fight. He got aim punched.
Everything there. Very unfortunate. Darty, though, gets the trade and potentially a second. He knows where he is. Pulling up the smoke, though. Caught with the smoke out, or taking out the rifle, I should say. Hate does get the clutch in the end, but was a valiant attempt. I can see why Disconnected would go for that. 2 versus 2. They had that timing on the flank, or they think they have the timing on the flank. I can respect the call, but as you mentioned, it is indeed a terrible outcome for their economy. They're going to be on a desperate save now. 1 P250, 1 nade for Darty Montana. Eagle for Frankie, and realistically just a dream for a kill or two. It's all they can really ask for. Team Mythic might have been given an opportunity to come back into this matchup.
They can get 6-7 rounds out of this one. They're in a good spot. 9-6 is still fine. 10-5 is where things get a little more dangerous. And they're going to probe around towards A. Get a lot of pressure towards B, though. They've cleared out sandbags. Do they expect the next stack towards B? It's much more passive. It's not quite a parallel stack. It's over towards Dark. They're looking the wrong direction. Freakazoid finds a pair before he gets netted. The last 2 get knocked down. Swan takes a lot of fall damage because Flom took out his support in ESL, leaving it all down to Frankie and his Deagle. One chance on the Hate, perhaps, if he gets the timing right. But that's about all he can really hope to find.
It doesn't look like the stars are going to align for that one either. What can he really do? Ideally, the call would be isolate the opper, get the kill, and then make sure the op leaves the round, because they might not be able to afford one, or they might be on the cusp of being able to afford one, but even then, that's a fringe case, and probably not too influential, not too impactful going forward. So, Frankie is going to push forward with reckless abandon, as he should. Or perhaps hold for an exit or two. Peeking in, just clearing all the angles, finds the kill. Harvesting some stats, as he should. They take 2 away. Tying up the scoreline. Last round of the half. They are looking to make it a tight 8-7 scoreline.
Let's see what Disconnected have for the buy. The op for Swan will have a vest and a little bit of utility behind it. Somebody buy a kit. Swan buy a kit. Swan does not buy a kit. Nobody on Disconnected has a kit.
It's been an oversight time and time again.
Can definitely end poorly. They're pretty much going to have to win via elimination at this point, because if Bomb goes down, Mythic have a lot of utility. They can really hold out in a post plant and burn that clock. Scary times for Disconnected here. And Mythic have all this brackets control with no real answer. It's a B stack from Disconnected as well. Cards are looking good for Mythic now, and Flom dodging the option of Swan is even living right there. ESL swings out wide, out 2. They double swing him. He does get 1. But one is not enough. Frankie with so much work to do here from him. He's found the first. He spots the second, and he demolishes 8 from Apps. No way Frankie's gonna pull this off. The flames are burning, and he gets tagged by Flom. The bomb can go down, but the rotations are here. Frankie bought the time for his teammates to arrive, and they're already throwing their retake util.
3 versus 2, a solid situation for them. They have one more smoke as well for good measure. But Cooper, fearless with the op, peeks in towards the middle, towards brackets, takes down Silas, and takes off 1/2 of this retake. The other 2 players now approaching from the speedway. Press forward slowly but surely. The first secure, the second spotted as well. Darty Montana completely blindsides Swan. I'm not sure where he was looking. Preoccupied with Swan on the site proper, and that means Swan will take the round. 9-6 is the score for Disconnected. We'll see if they can maintain this momentum after the break.
Disconnected at a 7-1, but Mythic closed the gap. They get 6 on their T side, and that is at the very least in a decent bit of space. They've closed the gap enough to give themselves a chance. They've gone for double dualies, Nate. It's Mods from Pineapple Phillips. It's dualies from Flom. It's a rush up brackets. And Silas with 1 hit with a trade, falling back towards the side, taking a little bit of chip damage. Rotation coming in from twice as well down Moto, and he does find 1, but only 1. The trades are favoring the T's, and Freakazoid's dual Berettas have not found the marker on this one. He's hopping away, and he jumps in towards middle and up the stairs into halls. Freak now over towards lane with 1 through Moto. That's Cooper. The Abadier brothers have the first entry. The Swan is up in apartments. He's the last man standing, and not for long. No kit will not bother Mythic, but the problem is they let the bomb go down, and Disconnected can force up for round 2 of the half.
I think the bigger problem is on the side of Disconnected. They had a 3 versus 2 in the post plan, and they let it fall without doing any damage as well. The dynamic duo, the brothers, pulling off a miraculous, very well played, very cohesive retake with the dualies and the USP. Good shots from Cooper, and of course a good shot from Freakazoid as well. Very solid game thus far for Cooper, though I have to highlight. Again, opping on the T side, no small feat, especially in the way he did it as the spearhead for the team. He was the real impactful player for them that kept them in it. Disconnected, as you mentioned, going for the force buy, though. A very interesting one with 2 dropped AKs, a Galil, and 2 deagles for ESL and Silas. Eris being quite low, or quite fragile, I should say, with no Kevlar makes this interesting. Could go either direction, especially with a kill like that. You want a big one to find. Traded though, and the bomb is dropped. The MP9 takes a pair before falling. And Twice will take the opportunity to get an upgrade. That A1S off his buddy's corpse. Disconnected though are more than happy to disconnect from the A site and instead to look to go towards B. Only 1 player is there as well. That is Cooper. All 3 remaining defenders have A1Ss, very formidable, but at range they might struggle a little bit with the body shots. We'll have to see what happens here. As Cooper is playing all the way back towards Coffins. Rotation coming through from Freakazoid will be quick enough, though I don't think so. Smoke down to cover the cross. Freakazoid, though, is ready with the Molotov. Cooper peeking over the smoke, finds the first of his brother. Not so lucky, though. Eris drops Freakazoid and brings it back to even footing. 2 versus 2. Twice in Cooper versus Eris and Frankie. No utility to keep them out of the site, but no real utility to get in either.
1 flash for each team. It's going to come down to the aim duels, and Cooper's won the first. He takes down the second as well. Frankie attempting the trade, but Cooper with the A1S locks it down. It's back-to-back rounds for Mythic, and they should be able to tie it up now, as I don't believe it's going to be a full invest or even maybe a half buy from Disconnected. They probably won't go for a full buy here. They could go Galils. They are going to go Galils. I guess they like the damage they've done to Mythic's economy the last couple of rounds, and they're going to go all in here. This is a very aggressive posture economically from Disconnected, but if it works, it pays off massive dividends. It's a very high-risk, high-reward style of play coming out from the T side.
It is, and we're at that point now where they have the loss bonus built up. If they can just get that bomb down, they'll have a buy more or less like this for every single round. That's a rather scary prospect for Team Mythic, but they start this round off better than the last. Tate peeking in middle with that AK in hand, finds the opening onto Frankie. That's a solid start for Team Mythic. Again, this is their map pick. They should be comfortable on this CT side. Disconnected though. They can break this CT economy. They will have a solid way to build a lead.
Wow. There's a good amount of utility left for Mythic. They're not in a bad spot. Flom's at a bit of a one and done, though. That's the only issue. Do they flash through the angles? Do they clear? Do they dry swing with the bomb? It doesn't matter. Silas will bring this to a 4v4. Now the players left. Twice up on the balcony. 1 hate in towards Big Pit. Shut down for none. Eris and Silas coming through. Eris out of apartments late. The bomb goes down, and now freaking Cooper have a decision to make. Do they save or do they attempt this? And if they don't find an answer quickly, saving these guns is not a bad prospect for a CT side that has not really been allowed to build up anything at all. That's the thing here. I mean, you have a CT economy, which they've won the last couple of rounds, only a couple of players surviving. The last round in particular, very impactful because they only had 2 surviving after the bomb went down again for Disconnected. And the aggressive buy from the T side has worked out. Try and farm here. He only gets 1 of the X. That's not enough at all. And that loss is far more impactful than the 1 kill they managed to get off of it. And Silas might even use that into the next round, too. We'll see if people want to keep using the A1S on the T side because of that damage drop-off.
He drops it over. It's better than a Galil at the very least. Maybe not an AK, but there was not an AK present. Guardian Montana as well, reading into the economy, buying a Mac 10 with some utility. It is a decent read, but unfortunately for him, Team Mythic are prioritizing helmets on 3/5 of the roster. Flom going for full Kevlar and helmet, same with CSGO. Twice though, no Kevlar whatsoever, and hate on only the body armor. That does give the Mac 10 a decent opportunity to harvest some cash. Disconnected a hefty advantage here. And if they can take this round rather cleanly, they're out the gate sprinting in the second half. They'll have an 11th, they'll likely have a 12th as well, as Mythic are guaranteed to save next round if that's going to be the case. Disconnected, massive implications. Freakazoid finds the opening. It's immediately traded by Swan. Back and forth. Eris, though, finds another towards middle. That's twice the player who had no Kevlar. Mentioned at the start of the round. Cooper trying to find a timing. Goes 1 for 1. Silas getting the trade and maintaining the status quo. 3 versus 2. Flom on the scout. Hate on the MP9. And they have no information as to which direction Disconnected are going.
And they've split the difference, too. 1 player on each site. H is going to tuck in with a full belt of utility. Oh, if he pushes in, Frankie's waiting for this. Frankie doesn't quite catch him tucking the mini pit. This is a really good angle to hold the MP9. It's just a matter of how he gets cleared. If he gets cleared. Molotov's into big pit. Nobody cleared mini pit. Now they do. He does find 1, but only 1. Does Flom attempt the retake? He's picked the M4A1. Makes it a much more viable chance. He's got the kit as well, but only utility is a bit of an issue. Last smoke used for Disconnected. They used the flash as well. It's a decent post plant. 1 in big pit, 1 on site. Now on top of cold box. Flom thinking better of going forward. Might just hold the line here. That blue phosphor. Really nice skin, but we'll see how many more people want to use the O1S as the time goes on. Time has also ticked too far by. Frankie couldn't get caught on the exit. Flom will try and get the last. Eris is waiting for him. Taking this gun out of the hands means a little bit more than keeping the AK alive. Eris will not survive, but that is more than worth it. Although Darty's going to be broke again, there's going to be no buys from the Mythic side. And Disconnected are really starting to put this into another gear here, Nate. They struggled for a minute, but they found a way to shift down. They're powering up again.
Those important factors. They didn't let off the gas. They went aggressive on the pistol round. They lost it by a tenuous margin. Lost the second as well, but with those bomb plants, they're able to facilitate a very shoddy buy in the third, and that's where they find their success. Perseverance pays off for them, and should have a 4-round advantage after this one concludes. There should be no way Mythic find this round. No Kevlar, just a couple upgraded pistols, P250s on Hate and Twice, and Cooper as well. The 157 for Freakazoid. Good Molotov forces these players out of the boiler. They were hurt as well as they were ticked down. Good shot by CSGO though. Does dink down 1. Another dink as well on the Frankie with the wall. Finding too much. Twice, there we go. Does find a single solitary kill, and that's all he'll find. Freakazoid, the 5/7 wielder, 1 versus 4. Can he find even a single kill? Any damage is good damage at this stage.
Maybe even a gun to save, but I think he's going to hope somebody walks into his spider's web. I don't think Freak's going to actually go for an aggressive play here. Disconnected, 4 away now from taking their opponent's map pick. Starting to look much better here. And considering the fact they've lost 5 in a row on this map, it's a good look for Disconnected. I mean, this is a team that has taken down ATK in the past on this very map in the last 3 months. That's a big team to knock down. They're not a slouch. I just feel like maybe they got it caught in a rut. They've made a couple of roster changes too, and it really looks like the pieces are coming together for the Disconnected squad. All 4 survive for him too. Freak saving the 5-7, really no concern of theirs. It's a good spot for Disconnected here, especially if they're able to shut down this next gun round of Mythic.
And important to note as well, Mythic relying heavily on that op of Cooper in the first half on T side. I'd imagine they're also rather keen to bring that on the CT side, and they have yet to be able to do so. They just don't have the funds to do it. They also don't have the kit either for this CT side. Very similar issue plaguing Disconnected in the first half. We'll have to see if it actually becomes a factor in this one. Disconnected though, 5 AKs versus 5 M4s here and now.
More utility on the T side though, and a flash from Frankie. He goes forward for 1, but he only gets 1, but he's had a lot of damage on it twice as well. Frankie just flashing himself in, like not actually throwing a flash, but going in like a flash. And that aggressive posture that Disconnected have shown from this entire T side continues to give them little bits and pieces of advantage. Now they're going to go for the banana execute. There's a smoke down for Cooper's position. He's soloing the site. Can get a rotation from Flom here, and his smoke towards corner will buy more time. Time, though. Still on the side of Disconnected. Plenty to move. Another smoke for CT prepped and ready to go. Darty thinks better of throwing the smoke as another piece of utility has been thrown towards Banana. It's another smoke from Cooper. And Mythic have not taken the bait. They've stationed through. Oh, never mind. Flom's going back. And so is twice. Oh my gosh. They have taken the bait.
They're in their own heads. This is a massive oversight as now 3 players walk into the brackets. They are thinking better of it, as you can tell. They're realizing it's a fake, but is it too little too late? Freakazoid top Cold Box has it already. Twice holding the cross. Does spot one and tag a second. Cold Box goes and check. That's a big opportunity, a big oversight as Twice and Freakazoid shut it down entirely. Darty Montana, no time to go for it. Less than 10 seconds. Will be forced to save, and what was such a good play from Disconnected is instead a massive oversight and massive defeat. You have to clear top Cold Box there as you enter into the site.
You have to. You have to clear that angle. If you don't, you die. That's a big mistake from Disconnected. And the thing about Counter-Strike is if you make a mistake and you get punished for it, the other team gets a whole bunch of momentum, and your team loses everything you've built in that regard. Disconnected are now going to have to battle back extra hard to try and build something. Freakazoid shines here. Silas only getting 1. It's a 3-for-1 pick trade for Mythic down Banana, and that's the kind of swing they needed to build things up on their CT side. Twice with the dink and the finish onto Frankie. All down to ESL now, and it's little errors that come back to bite a team. And is ESL contemplating a save here? He's not really keen on moving about too much. If he bides his time, he might catch somebody going through under, but yeah, I think ESL is saving with this much time on the clock. This is
It's not going to be safe. There's no way.
There's no way. It's also a very curious call because there's basically 0 chance you do save for 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Probably his best chance to find a kill, playing a bleak angle, find a surprising shot, a one-shot headshot onto somebody. I also want to note, he did get dinked down Banana for less than 80. The A1S only did 78.
And actually, Nate, does that mean he's no longer a 2-shot with a dink?
It might. At that range, it might. Two players converging in. Maybe a lineup. They know he's here. They're waiting. They know he's stuck in. There's nowhere else he could be. They're actually waiting for after time. They're waiting for after time.
They're so smart.
There's no way. They've cleared out the entirety of the map, and ESL is now just stuck. Going to be gifted to the Vultures. This nade will be thrown in after time before the kitchen. Swing comes in from Cooper after time, adding insult to injury. Smart heads-up play from Team Mythic. Now the money is truly shambolic for ESL. $0 left in the bank and no gun to show for it. Mythic They should have some breathing room in this round. Team Disconnected should be on a... I say they should be on a save, but actually, Eris being on $0 means they're going to be compelled into a force buy instead. It's 4 Tech 9s with Kevlar and a little bit of utility. Truly desperate times for Disconnected.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. We haven't seen too much success on the half buys just yet. That's some good nade damage from Mythic. 3 players on Disconnected, down to about 60 HP. Twice. There's the angle. That's the bomb, and he's got it a second time. He backs away. The flash will not facilitate a frag. And now they go into the meat grinder through the smoke. Only 1 kill, and that is abysmal for Disconnected. Their pistols only finding 1, not really threatening at all. Tie ball game after this Glock round from Disconnected, unless they pull off the Glock miracle. This looks so good for Disconnected.
Another force.
I hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I'm not sure what's going on. We're at that what's going on moment, I'd say. We said we would probably have some of those yesterday and today, and it's definitely the case here and now. Round 24 upon us. Again, another pistol buy. We saw them find next to nothing in the round prior with 4 Tech 9s. Around they have 4 Tech 9s and a Deagle. So the hopes, in my mind, aren't too high, but who knows? Maybe they'll be given some more room and potentially use that to their advantage. Looks like a pop towards the arch is the call. Cooper could get caught in transition of a flash that's thrown now, but that reality has passed. It has not been realized. Cooper back towards the library now. Cooper has to control banana, and so they know the 2 players are towards the middle. Flom, a nice little spray down in the flashy there. Swan towards the middle, finds nothing. In fact, this round might be even more visible than the last. Frankie can't get the headshot. Flom finds the ace, the eco ace for him. And Team Mythic tie things up. Disconnected. They looked so promising in the early goings on this T side. They reaped the rewards of perseverance, and now it feels like they're grasping at straws, desperately trying to regain the lead that they have lost.
I wish we could call tactical timeouts, because I want a timeout to discuss everything that was wrong with that call. They got no kills, so there's not even an economic incentive to go for a force buy that last round. With their money that they would have gotten from the loss bonus, they would have been able to full buy here with a 12-12 scoreline. Now they all but hand Mythic a lead in the tail end of the map on a silver platter, room service. Here's your filet mignon, Mythic. Enjoy. We'll even cut it up into pieces for you. That is how much they've just given this over to Mythic. And it all started with a lack of clearing a box. 1 kill for Silas, damage onto Freakazoid, and actually a trade back. If they win this round, this is going to turn this game into pandemonium, into pure utter chaos. They line up for Flom, though, and after his AC, the pair goes for the hat trick and no bomb plant. Frankie, the last one standing. Maybe 1 kill, but some flashing in hand.
Flom eco fragger. Truly, that's 9 kills in 2 rounds.
Stats earlier in the green room.
Yeah, I think Flom has officially been decided to be the #1 eco. It's 9 kills in 2 rounds. 9 kills.
Jeez.
All against pistols. Almost double.
He got the ace versus armor, though, so, I mean, I'll give him that.
He's raced to the top of the scoreboard as well. And here we go. That's what I wanted to see. Cooper, I wanted to know if you were keen on buying the op, and he is. 1 teammate falls, actually 2 in that round, so he'll drop the rifle and bring out the big green to challenge the likes of Swan. Disconnected, truly getting desperate at this stage. You can see Swan is bringing out the big green of his own. For most T-sides, that is a sign of true desperation.
Yeah, it really makes it so much more static on the T side because the op is not as maneuverable as an AK. Unless you do what Cooper was doing the last half, spearheading things. It's not really pretty. Twice wins the opening duel in halls against Frankie. Takes a lot of damage, but he's able to back out alive. Flom was on his 6 as well, making sure his teammate can get out without much trouble. Opening pick the way of Mythic, at advantage to Mythic as well. Mirage map number 2, if we get to that point. Or we will get to that point. When we get to that point, I should say. Nice shot from Cooper as the smoke fades. A flash to the re-aggression, but Swan, not blinded, wins the Opper's duel. Still a man advantage for Team Mythic. ESL spots the leg of Twice around the smoke, though, and this little smoke terminal play might find something. Freakazoid 1-for-1, the bomb spotted, but ESL caught in rotation. A sandwich of players. He fights his way through. ESL and Silas, a 2v1. The bomb to go down, and Flom with a decision. He's got 13k in the bank, but Freak only has 2750. It looks like Flom wants to go for this one, though.
The op's on banana. He could grab the op. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna throw it out even. Oh, he's gonna take the second one and also throw it out. Okay. Scorched earth policy. I can respect it.
Yeah, I can too, honestly.
He wants to go for it. He's going to try it. He's feeling hot. Those 9 kills in the prior 2 rounds. These 2 would mean all the more, though. Time becoming a factor. He's going to jump on the bomb or try to fail the KD. He's going to try to do it now in a desperation. Tag down and taken out. I think everybody's going to fall with a bomb, though. So Flom takes 2 players with him by taking so long. It does pay off, I think, in a very big way because the economy of Disconnected is so topsy-turvy now. 2 players fall. If those 2 players survive with their rifles, they might be able to get a more comprehensive investment. But because everybody falls, now things are going to get awkward. Swan on probably a Galil, maybe even an SMG for some extra utility. It's going to be another desperate and wonky buy for Disconnected.
They do call the timeout to talk it over, though, so they want to have a little more stretch behind this one, too. Really figure out their buy. Iron out all the wrinkles. This has been a very rough game for both teams. Whoever wins this should be happy with the mental fortitude that it's taken to get to this point. But other than that, Nate, it's been a game where you watch this and you're like, all right, there's been a lot of holes. And again, some of the other teams in their group, they're not going to get away with what they've been able to get away with here in this one.
This is a matchup. It's a match you watch back and you don't say, what did we do well? You say, what did we do wrong?
Yeah. Even if you win this one.
Yeah.
I think there's been some good economic decisions, some aggressive decisions for Disconnected. That string of 4 spies was one that probably should not be repeated again. The first one, sure. The second one, don't understand why. But they've got the opening pick onto Freakazoid. The flashbangs are good over the half wall, and they're going to rotate around towards the ASAP. They've left Banana completely uncontested, and that allows Mythic to re-probe for this. And they're going to find out this is probably going to go towards B or A. I mean, Frankie, however, has swung for 1, but Hate holds the line. He's got 3 to a 2v2, and he's fought all the time for Cooper to rotate. Flom sprinting up middle as well. Does he catch the timing? Cooper eating nades. He does not get swung. They clear cold box. They can't clear out Cooper. No, they can. He had a chance for both, but Swan clutches up and Disconnected grab the 14th from the ashes of defeat. They've put themselves in the driver's seat now. Mythic, 1 more buy in the bank, but Disconnected knocking on the door of 15.
These rounds have been scrappy. They've been expensive. And Disconnected again on that topsy-turvy buy. The Mac 10 for ESL now instead, and 2 Galils on Darty, Montana, and Silas. Team Mythic, you mentioned 1 last buy. No op present for Cooper, but it is full M4s, decent enough utility, and the kit for Cooper. They have covered all their bases. Disconnected, though. They have been finding opportunities with those aggressive openings. This time around, they'll slow things down. They want Team Mythic to feel uncomfortable. They want Team Mythic to feel antsy. Cooper is getting a little bit aggressive with Freakazoid. Aren't getting too crazy, too risky yet on the CP side.
They've got Banana control, but they fall away as the smoke will start to fade. A pensive A-hold as well. 2 players on site, 1 on Moto. This is a very scared-looking defense for Mythic. And given how things have been progressing in these last couple of rounds, it's no question as to why. They've been losing the aim duels outright, and that's a problem. Flash is there for Freak. Cooper tosses it, but it's a bit late. The MAC-10 already around the corner before it blooms. The second one thrown so Cooper can cross to sight. Flom in rotation, Boo CT as well. The utility flooding in. Cooper stuck from second or in between first and second. Flom going through the smoke. He's run into the nether flash. Silence finds his mates, and Cooper does a lot of damage, but he only finds one kill. The bomb will go down. Twice and Hate on the rotation. Actually, just Hate, because Twice has thought nothing of this attempt at all. He's backing towards T Apartments, and that means Hate has to back away again. A 2v3 retake of the B site with no kit, not a likely scenario to come through with, and given the fact they'd have no money for a buy in the next round, Nate, they had to save. They had to save these guns to give themselves even a snowball's chance in round, what is it, 29?
Yeah, it'll be around
28?
29. Wait, 28? Yeah. No, it'll be 29. This is 28.
Yeah.
Add up the scores, +1 is the round we're currently on.
Swan could even find this onto Twice, too.
This would be a big one. A massive. Strength ride, yes. Albeit barely. They aren't going to push forward. They know that their economy's in a bad way. They've acknowledged that. It's been like that for the past now 2 rounds. They want to get a solid buy on the board to put this one to bed. I'd say that is the smart call from Disconnected. They now have a very solid astute buy and a little bit of extra cash in the bank should round 30 be necessary. AKs across the board with 1 A1S on Silas. Team Mythic, desperation. They have 2 MP9s for Flom and Freakazoid, a FAMAS for Cooper, and of course those 2 saved M4s for Twice and Hate.
If there was a map for the SMGs to win you around, though, it would be Inferno. The MP9s around the half wall and towards apartments can be very, very deadly, even something tucked in on sight. This is a timeout from Disconnected here, Nate. And
I was just going to mention that as well, yeah.
It's the second time they've called after winning a round. It feels like Disconnected want to keep things calm and not overthink, not get in their own heads, which I think is a very good idea. Also, I would like to mention only 1 Disconnected player is positive in KD. That is Silas at 18 and 17.
Interesting.
Mythic have at least 2. I think Twice is probably positive as things have progressed as well.
I will say, a lot of the rounds that Disconnected have won have been tight-knit. We talked about that on their CT side. After the initial start, they kind of won, it was 7-1, 7-2, but they had no money in the bank.
7-1, 8-2,
Yeah, it was 7-1, 8-2, but they had no money in the bank because the rounds were so close. They were losing so many players. And when they lose rounds, they lose them handedly. They kind of just collapse. We remember, we talked about 10K in the bank plus for Team Mythic earlier on in this half. So that kind of paints the picture, but it still makes the scoreboard look very weird at the end of the game, especially if Disconnected take it.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those where, yes, a team won, but did they necessarily win on paper? No. That's the thing. Paper, statistics, it only means so much. And stats don't tell you the full story. Disconnected, if they end up bloodied and battered at the end of map 1, doesn't matter. They still won it. Doesn't matter if they got knocked to the mat every single round. They didn't go down twice. They didn't get TKO'd. So, in this 5v5, Disconnected, they've called their timeout. They're defaulting around. They've not been giving anything for free by Mythic, playing a very passive CT side again, turtling up on their sites.
And this fake, we've seen it from Darty Montana before. It pulled massive amounts of rotations. It was around that Mythic won nonetheless, but it looks like a very similar situation here. And now Twice already beginning to rotate as the arch is taken. Disconnected now wrapping into the ace. A player in pit, 2 players in pit, 1 small, 1 big. The MP9 up close could do some damage. The South is the one that's opening on the Twice. Second player in big pit does find 1, but his teammate in the meanwhile falls, and Darty gets the trade on to Hate. It's just Freakazoid and Cooper. The brothers left to pick up the pieces. 2 versus 4 for the FAMAS and the MP9. Sure, they have the kit. Sure, they have a flash, but this round is probably a flash in the pan, I would say. I think this round is just done and dusted. Cooper on the one-way doesn't find anything. It's Frankie to take him down. The MP9 1 versus 4 would be a Herculean round to win, and it's just not meant to be. Darty Montana gets the spray down, and that is an upset victory from Disconnected as they take Mythic's map pick of Inferno.
And more importantly, they also strap a 5-game loss streak on Inferno. That is a huge win for Disconnected. They take Mythic's map pick, they snap a 5-game loss streak, and they do it very brawly. They had to be very strong mentally. They put themselves